Premier League is back after some midweek European fixtures. I say that I'm recording this video on a Wednesday, so I'm just going to presume Darwin Núñez had an absolute masterclass. Liverpool beat Real Madrid 4-0 and are through to the Champions League quarter-finals. There's only 7 games to predict this week because some of the games have been postponed due to the FA Cup. This is the last game week before the international break, so let's get into my Game Week 28 Premier League predictions. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like. If you are new to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe. Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle. Sometimes I just overthink a lot of these games. I look at the record versus the teams, I look at all the statistical stuff, but the first time I just saw that fixture, I thought that is going to be a very interesting game. This game just seems like it's going to be very exciting. There's going to be goals, and I'm sadly going to give it the title of the Chris Wood Derby. That's not what any fixture wants to be called. Sorry, Chris Wood, by the way, if you are watching, you definitely are. And just to make up to it, I'm going to say you're going to score in this game, but it's going to be a draw, a 2-all draw, a brilliant, exciting Friday night kickoff. Brentford versus Leicester. In private discussions in the last couple of months, I've told people that Leicester will get relegated. I didn't want to say it on here though, because it was a little bit far out. It was a bit of a bold prediction. Now they're in the relegation battle, so here I am saying Leicester will get relegated. I'm not saying they don't have a good squad, because they have a lot of very good players, but I just think Brendan Rodgers, he's just lost the plot. And for someone that was linked to the Man City job 2 years ago, you just have to think, where did it all go wrong? They went from narrowly missing out on Champions League football, winning the FA Cup, to now being a few points off the relegation zone, and this game isn't going to help their cause, as they're going to lose 3-1 to Brentford. Goals will come from 2 from Ivan Toney and 1 from Mikel Damsgaard. Southampton versus Spurs. Southampton picked up a crucial point in their relegation battle last week versus Manchester United at Old Trafford. Gavin Bazunu was absolutely brilliant. He's apparently been linked with Spurs, so he could really impress in this game, especially considering how bad Hugo Lloris has been this season. Thankfully though for Spurs fans, Hugo Lloris is injured and Fraser Foster has been proving everyone wrong. He's been very good in recent weeks. Following that result versus Manchester United, I think Southampton are going to have a bit of momentum. Going back to St Mary's, I think they're going to go out and get a point out of this game in a 1-all draw. I am convinced of it. Southampton will stay in the Premier League. Mark my words. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth with a very important win versus Liverpool last week, but the relegation battle is so close that a point could move you 5 places up the table. That is a slight over-exaggeration to be fair, but Crystal Palace are 12th and they are 5 points off bottom of the table. The relegation battle is so exciting that we could easily see Bournemouth finish 20th or we could see them finish 12th. Thankfully for Aston Villa fans, they're above that relegation bracket in 11th, 8 points ahead of Crystal Palace, so it's unlikely they get dragged into a relegation battle. Following that win versus Liverpool, I think the Bournemouth players will be up for it. After a good performance last week, they're going to continue it on and beat Aston Villa 1-0. If that prediction does turn out to be true, Bournemouth move from 18th to 14th and are level on points with 12th place Crystal Palace. Wolves versus Leeds, and again we're talking about the relegation battle because both of these teams are in it. There's so many teams in it, we're going to be talking about it in every single game. This is a huge game for Leeds because, like I've said 100 times in this video, the relegation battle is so close. You can move from 19th, where Leeds are, up to 14th. You know what, let's just not talk about the relegation battle, let's just judge both teams' stadiums. The Molineux, it's a nice stadium, it's an old stadium, it has a real classic design to it, and you can really appreciate that. Ellen Road is also quite a nice stadium, the 14th largest stadium in England. The outside isn't quite that nice of a design, but it's still solid. We've actually managed to not talk about the relegation battle in this segment, so fair play to all of us, a new record. I reckon this game will end a 1-all draw. Chelsea versus Everton fans. Sorry Everton fans, but you know what I'm not going to be talking about. You probably get the general gist by now. What I will give them credit though for is what the impact Sean Dyche has made. What a managerial appointment. I don't think anyone actually doubted it because he was the man they needed and he's proving everyone right. Everyone did doubt Graham Potter though because he was in a very bad run of form, but Chelsea have actually started to win a couple games and now can be back into the fight for European football. Everton will be a hard team to score against, but I do think Chelsea at Stamford Bridge are going to continue their good run of form and win this game 2-0. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, the final Premier League game of April, and this could be a very nice game for Arsenal as Manchester City aren't playing this weekend, so Arsenal can give themselves an extra bit of an advantage. I'm recording this video before Arsenal play Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League. I'm posting this video before Arsenal play Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League, but let's base it off the very reliable source that is my Europa League predictions and say Arsenal win. I fancy them to keep the momentum on, go out and beat Crystal Palace 3-0 and go into the international break 8 points top of the Premier League. So that was my Game Week 28 Premier League predictions, or at least most of it because, well, 3 of the games aren't going ahead. But let me know what you thought in the comments and let me know your predictions for Game Week 28. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one.